Hi everyone. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Thomas Janicky and I'm a first year student at UMD&J. So this week I attended the Federal Advocacy Forum in Washington, D.C. I was lucky enough to receive a sponsorship from APTA NJ, and part of the acceptance criteria was that I shared my experiences with my classmates. So that is what I'm going to do. So at the forum there were three main topics at hand. The first was in regards to the sustainable growth rate, or the SGR, and the impact that it has on the physician fee schedule reductions under Medicare Part B. For those of you who don't know what the physician fee schedule is, it's basically a long mathematical equation that determines reimbursement, protocol, and all that other stuff. So if you have an added interest in finding out what it is, you can access it on the Medicare website. But anyway, since the inception of the SGR and the therapy cap in 1997, the outstanding costs to permanently repeal the bill has led to annual extensions, which has only provided a temporary fix to the problem at hand. Also, the Multiple Procedural Payment Reduction, or MPPR, as a part of the American Taxpayer Relief Act of 2012, was increased from 20% in private practice to 25% in facilities, and now is going to be increased to 50% in all outpatient settings, which has resulted in a 7% cut for outpatient therapy reimbursements, coupled with the 7% from the previous MPPR reduction. These cuts have a direct effect on physical therapy practice and affect patient access to care. So we took to the Hill to ask our senators and representatives to reform the SGR and to also urge Congress to delay the 50% MPPR reduction until an alternate payment system can be implemented with an anticipated start date of January 2015. The APTA is currently working on an alternate payment system. I was not really informed what the system is like or what it's about, but the anticipated start date for the alternate payment system is 2015, and if I do get any more information on that, I will gladly pass it along. Secondly, in regards to the Medicare Access to Rehabilitation Services Act, we were looking to repeal the cap on outpatient rehab services. The Balanced Budget Act of 1997 created an annual financial limit on physical therapy. This action was not based on data, quality of care concerns, or clinical judgment. Its sole purpose was to save resources needed to balance the federal budget. Since its inception, Congress has acted on multiple occasions to prevent the implementation of the therapy cap by means of exceptions processes for patients that demonstrate medically necessary need for care beyond the financial limit. In 2012, Congress directed CMS to implement a review process for therapy services that exceeded $3,700, and also implemented a more extensive exceptions process, which are set to expire December of 2013. So on the Hill, we asked our senators and representatives for co-sponsorships to permanently repeal the therapy cap, which has a direct effect on patient access to physical therapy services and limits patient access to sustainable quality care. The therapy cap is something that we have been working around for a long time, and the increase is what is concerning therapists. And the main concern is that it's limiting patient access to care, and it's also concerning the patient more than it should be. I heard stories at the forum that patients are actually self-limiting their services because they're aware of this therapy cap, so they're actually cutting themselves off from therapy services when they really need it. So this kind of takes the call out of the hands of the therapist, and the patients are kind of making the call on whether they're going to go to therapy or not. So the therapy cap has many cons to it and very few pros. Finally, the last issue we tackled on the Hill was to include physical therapy in the Physical Therapist Workforce and Patient Access Act of 2013. It's also called the PTW. Some of you saw the Facebook event that I passed around asking for signatures to bring the bill back to legislation, and this is exactly what we tackled on the Hill. So the PTW is a piece of legislation that would authorize physical therapists to participate in the National Health Service Corps, or NHSC, loan repayment program. Adding physical therapy to the PTW would ensure that patients receive access to physical therapy services to meet the needs of underserved areas, and there are 23 total in New Jersey. In addition to providing care to underserved areas, this would also alleviate the demands on the other primary care providers, maximizing care to the entire population in underserved communities, and limiting unnecessary services. This piece of legislation would both alleviate the accumulating student debt faced after graduation and simultaneously meet the needs of the ever-increasing demands for physical therapy in underserved areas throughout the country. We urged our representatives to co-sponsor this bill, as it would have a direct effect on serving populations that truly need our rehab services. So that was a basic overview of the three bills that we spoke to our senators and representatives about. I also have additional literature on those bills, and if anybody would like to read up on them. And also I'll be around in school to answer any questions. So real quickly, I would like to talk about my experience at the forum. If there was one word to describe the atmosphere and the energy at the forum, it would be passion. The room was filled with physical therapists and students from all over the country who all shared a genuine passion for physical therapy and ensuring that their patients receive the best quality care that they know that they deserve. The forum was an opportunity to bring to light the issues that surround our practice and what it is our patients really need. It's important to know that our representatives were not all raised to be politicians. There was a wide range of past professions that these representatives all had. For example, John Runyon from my district in New Jersey was an ex-professional football player. So of course he's not going to know all the issues that surround physical therapy practice to date. And that's why we were there. We were there to inform him on what it is we need and what it is our patients need. And they really appreciate that. And some of you may be thinking, we're just students at this point, so what impact can we really have? And the truth is, when we were discussing what it is we want, the representatives turned to the students. They turned to us and they asked us what we thought and what how we felt on these issues. And at first, it was a little scary to have to stand up for the profession, but they know that these are going to be our issues in the future, and they know that we'll be practicing in a few short years, and they want a fresh perspective on the profession. So I feel that it's important that we prepare ourselves now so that we're better equipped to really handle these situations in the future, and that we can ensure that we can advocate for our patients as best as possible. I feel that attending the forum has really equipped me with the skills to better advocate for my future patients, and has prepared me to how to conduct myself at future forums. I'm hoping that by sharing my experience, I have inspired a few of you to want to take an added interest in the political aspect of physical therapy, because in reality, we are the ones that are going to make a difference. We are the ones that have to stand up for what it is that we believe in, and we are the ones that have to stand up for the rights of our patients, because the sad truth is no one else is going to do it for us. So I urge you to take a look at some of the notes from this year's forum, and hopefully it'll inspire a few of you to join me next year at the Federal Advocacy Forum, and you too can have that positive experience that I was lucky enough to have this year. So in closing, I would really like to thank again the APTA, the New Jersey chapter of the APTA, the amazing faculty at UMD&J, and of course Dr. Kathy Mairella, who has really paved the way for me in finding my passion for wanting to be involved and advocate for the profession. So oh, and on another note, I would like to remind everybody that on April 23rd, the APTA Student Assembly will be initiating a flash action strategy to really follow up with the BTW. And what it is we are going to bombard Capitol Hill with 16,000 letters in under 72 hours. And in doing so, we hope to really show them how passionate we are about what it is that we advocated for during the forum, and hopefully instill a memory that they'll never forget. So I will, of course, be reminding everybody about the Flash Action Strategy to take place on April 23rd. I have sent out a Facebook invitation, and I will probably send out another email either today or tomorrow. So having said that, good luck with finals, everybody, and I will see everybody on Monday.